So Spirit, feel enemies till all my fears is cold. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. All right, so it is that time, my friends. So I don't want to say we're getting buff this hour in the morning, but our goodly doctor is on the inside. Good morning to you, Dr. Batson.
Good morning, sir. Morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I just had to prank the listeners. I don't want nobody to say, well, look, oh, she's just buffing us today. No, it's not buffing. There's love.
Yeah,
trying
definitely.
to give you the what is it? The ounce of prevention here today.
Yeah, ounce of prevention. Yeah, better than
that's
a pound.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what 1 pounds at clinic.
Precisely.
Precisely.
Yeah, you don't want to wait until things reach a point where it's too bad and you end up in these serious situations. So a pleasant good morning to our Facebook family. A pleasant good morning to Miss McFarlane, Miss Subdeo, Miss Natasha Alexander, Miss Anne-Marie Bob, Miss Dawn Charles. Who they coming in a hurry? Pleasant good morning to the Facebook family. Of course, a pleasant good morning to the listeners of Sky 99.5. A pleasant good morning to Miss Atkinson from London. Miss Lowe, pleasant good morning to you, Miss Joan, Miss Chandra Sanka, Miss Dawn Charles. You see everybody coming in this morning. A pleasant good morning to Miss Ashton from South Florida. So we have the, by the end of the program, we'll have had the whole globe. So that's always welcome. Interestingly, this morning I decided that I would speak on a number of topics. And of course, we always open the lines and introduce or take your calls. Interestingly, this week I did a pleasant good morning to Miss Pamela Moses, always locked on, like so many of you guys. Mr. Savage, good morning, sir. Miss Green. Yeah, so Friday I did, what do you call that, boy? A short session for the sports club. It was Trinidad Asphalt Sports Club. They had a particular program with breast cancer awareness. And that's actually a serious topic. And as usual, I start to talk and then I get into my element. And then, people are like, whoa, okay. This doctor seems to, know his stuff and he's very knowledgeable and that kind of thing. Thank you for that. I always try to be. But, breast cancer is something, and the way I decided to carry that program was one where I am never critical of these cancer awareness programs and these cancer drives and that kind of thing. What I am critical about is that I find at the end of the entire event or the day or whatever it is, these women leave and they don't ever have any practical, tangible information that they could actually now implement in their life to prevent them from getting breast cancer. And that's normally my pet peeve with a lot of these, awareness and even World Health Day. You have World Breast Cancer Day, World Diabetes Day. And most of the persons who are responsible, unknowing to themselves, they just provide mediocre information. I mean, sometimes they themselves don't know better, as I said. And, you know, the audience is left wanting still, because I believe in practicality. I believe in that whenever you go to listen to any symposium, whether is self-help, those programs where you do, you know, self-development and whatever the case may be, you must always get tangible information, or practical information is the term I want to use, that afterwards you can actually implement things immediately that could now work to your benefit. And the same applies as it relates to breast cancer, because I find a lot of women, you're like, you know, wondering, you all don't know, you know, what do I look for? Is there any preventative measure that I can do? And one of the things that I actually shared with persons was the situation with the castor oil. And I'm going to repeat that again this morning, because I think it's something that all women, even men, should be aware of. You know, the black Jamaican castor oil has a very distinct ability, and that ability is one where it actually helps to free up the lymphatic system. Now, if you know about cancer, any type of cancer, especially breast cancer, usually the lymph nodes are usually in some serious problems, because you know, the doctors like to remove the lymph nodes, and I have a serious problem with that, because your lymphatic system is a vital system rather, as it relates to your immune system, and it's also very important on what women would really need to pay attention to, as it relates to that situation, because the lymphatic system is actually the one that put you in trouble in the first place. But that doesn't give you the right to come and remove the lymph nodes, because your lymphatic system functions in an entire, it's like a circle. So, and that connection is very important. So if you break the connection by cutting or pulling out anything, you're going to end up in a lot of problems. And that's what happens to these women, because, you know, you may do you might do a lumpectomy where you actually remove the lump, or you might actually do where you actually remove the entire breast. That being done, I mean, why would you want to remove somebody's lymph nodes? You know, I have some serious problem with that, and it can become very political, because there are a lot of persons who wouldn't agree with me, and that's okay. But there's some reason as to what I'm saying, because if you understand anatomy and physiology, and you understand how the body works, and you understand the importance of the lymphatic system, it is very dangerous to go and be removing lymph nodes. That's going to put you in a lot of problems, because if you look, go up on YouTube or Google or any one of those platforms and type in lymphatic system, and look at the aspects. So go in images, don't go just in that part, look at images, and you're going to see how intricate the lymphatic system really is, especially in this particular area, very close to the in the case of female, the breasts, on their arms, the ones to the side here, the ones on their neck. Your lymphatic system is a very, very important system. So you don't want people to be digging and pulling up things out of there. So in any case, what I was saying, as an ounce of prevention, what you can do is you could actually get the black Jamaican castor oil, you heat it a bit, not to burn yourself, obviously, right? And what you do is you take a little bit of the oil and you put it in the middle here. So which part your elbow bends, right in the center there. And you rub it there and you leave it there overnight. Now, when you put it there, if you do not get any allergic reaction, any blistering, any burning, it means it's good. You don't have any allergic reaction, or you would not have an allergic reaction, sorry, to the castor oil, so that you could actually now use it in the particular areas. And the areas that you'll be putting it on will be under your arm and in certain, all around the breast, but not on the nipple itself, right? That's fairly easy, right? On their arm here, and you come all around the breast, but not the nipple. And you do the same thing here. And what you could also do is that you actually rub it underneath here. Now, what that does, it actually encourages lymphatic drainage, and it encourages cleansing of the lymphatic system. So it sort of, how to put it, encourages the lymphatic system to work even more effectively in removing waste and toxins. Because when you understand the anatomy of the breast itself, if you look again, go on Google, you go in images and you type in breast or anatomy of the breast, and you're going to see it has a lot of intricate network. So it's like a lot of fine pipelines in the breast, which would encompass a number of things. Now, what causes women to end up with breast cancer is when that proper circulation and oxygenation to the breast is cut off at certain points. So that's why it's very easy to end up with breast problems. So another thing that women should pay very close attention to is your vitamin E intake. So it's a very good idea to ensure that you have a vitamin E supplement in your regime. Vitamin E is usually measured what in IUs, international units. So anywhere between, let me see off the top of my head, anyway, about 800 IUs supposed to be sufficient on a daily basis to help prevent the formation of lumps. You need to be very careful with the antiperspirants that you use. You need to be very careful with the those soaps that you use, the perfumes, because one of the things I was talking about as well is, makeup and the hair dyes that women put in their hair and whatnot. You need to be very careful because those things do affect you, and they affect you, of course, over a period of time. They could actually build up in the system and cause some serious problems. So that was just some information for the women as regards to the breast. If you want to prevent breast cancer, you want to keep the circulation there, encourage the lymphatic system to do its job, encourage proper immunity, because we know cancer can only go into our body, or can actually reign supreme, for want of a better expression, in any human body based on the fact that that body has a compromised immune system. So that's something that you need to pay very close attention to. I'm going to actually put that in one of our, I'm going to get Shaki to do up something for me so we could actually post it there for you guys. And, it's something that you could actually reference to, because I know some of you are going to forget. Men, it is also a very good thing to use, gentlemen, very close to your groin area, prevent problems with your prostate. So, you can actually put it in the groin area to the side of your legs there by your prostate area. And that as well would prevent, or, it decreases the likelihood of ending up with serious inflammatory response. It improves circulation. Of course, anywhere that has improved blood circulation and proper blood circulation is always going to be healthier, because the cell is going to be receiving optimal oxygen and optimal nutrients in the cell area. So, of course, in that particular case, you find that is going to be very good in terms of preventing things like prostate cancer. It's also a very good thing to prevent hernias, because it actually helps to pull that area together, because abdominal hernias are not fun. The thing is, if you get a hernia bad enough and they have to do a mesh implant, you don't want that. That's literally wire mesh that they actually have to put into your body. I mean, that's no fun, because remember that mesh could actually bend, and a lot of persons end up in serious problems with those. So, therein goes the old adage, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Or as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. So that information was for you ladies. So I hope, you take full advantage of it. Men as well, always try your best to prevent that particular situation. So that was one of the things that we were speaking about with the breast cancer. So you're looking at your black Jamaican castor oil, you're heating it a bit, make sure and do the test on the skin for like about 24 hours to make sure that you would not have an allergic reaction. It is also very good for persons to use in the thyroid area, that's under the neck here. Women, if it is you have been told that you have thyroid nodules, if it is you having problems with your thyroid, it's a very good thing to use in that area as well, to actually help increase, again, drainage and proper circulation in those areas. So you can feel free to give us a call or visit. Very soon we'll actually be carrying our own line of black Jamaican castor oil. Look forward to that. That's something we'll be doing from next year, please God. So those telephone numbers again that you can give us a call or reach us at would be 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. That's 314-9975. And those locations, we are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. We are also on the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe, as well as Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. And Tobago is the Triangle building in Scarborough, Tobago. Tobago, you all have gotten your water, you've gotten your Santulan, We have circulation teas on its way, so I'm hoping God's willing we should have that by next week or maybe late week after next for the latest IT as well. The topic that I wanted to touch on this morning, and of course we're going to go to the telephone lines in a bit because we only have an hour on Sky this morning, but I'll be continuing on Facebook Live for an additional hour. So you guys could join us there on Facebook at Batson and Associates Limited. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. There. So I'm going to go over to Mr. Dominic. A pleasant good morning to Honey Bay saying good morning, Boo. Shaki, good morning, beautiful people. Miss Alicia Comerbatch, good morning from Barbados. Miss Marsha Joseph, pleasant good morning to you. Miss Keisha Moore very quickly is asking, can you ingest black castor oil? In all honesty, off the top of my head, I do not know. I'm going to have to check. I'm not sure. But I know topically, and of course in here, it's very well, it's very good topically here and that type of thing. So we are going to Mr. Dominic, who is going to take some of our calls, and let's see.
All right, so my friends, you can definitely give us a call at 625-2759, 625-2759, or 624-7729, and we welcome your messages, your voice notes, etc. at 333-9950, 333-9950. All right, good morning, Doc. Is magnesia blocks safe to eat? I eat it all the time.
Magnesia. That's the message.
That's a message.
Well, see that you eat it all the time and you're there to learn how to be good. It is not problematic. I mean, it depends on what you're using it for. A lot of people go to milk and magnesia, which is the most common magnesium block that we know, if they have constipation problems. So if it is you're using it for that reason where you're frequently constipated and the only way you can get a ease up or some bowel movement is that you'll have to use the magnesium, then you need to be very careful. But occasional use of magnesium is very good for the body. So that's not a problem. But as I said, what is the reason? Is it a constipation situation? And if that is the case, then you would need to deal with the constipation at its root and not only depend on using the magnesium at that point in time, because you're going to end up in some problems over a period of time.
Okay. All right, just a big stop, but someone is asking, Doc, how do we go about treating erectile dysfunction?
Erectile dysfunction. Well, it depends on the source of your erectile dysfunction. And this was something that I touched on a while ago, in the sense that you have to ensure that your relationship is one that is, how to put it, boy, conducive to having an erection, as as ridiculous as that might sound. So all of us.
That was such a good answer. That was such a radio-friendly answer.
You understand? We keep it clean this morning. So yeah. So your environment must be one conducive to having proper erection. So the intimacy must be there, that type of thing. So if it is not that type of problem and it's really a physiological problem, well, then we basically need to improve cellular function. We need to improve blood flow to the genital area, that type of thing. What a lot of men don't understand is that proper erection has to come about as a result of proper microcirculation. What is microcirculation? We know the major blood vessels in the body, right? We have three types. You have your arteries, which are the largest. We have veins, which are the second in terms of the circumference, but they are more elastic in all the blood vessels. And then you have the capillaries, which are the smallest ones. So men need to ensure that they have proper microcirculation or proper circulation in the capillaries in order for them to have proper erection. Interestingly, that same thing that I told you about the castor oil, that actually would help to improve your erection, because it would actually help lymphatic drainage and improve circulation in that particular area. That's one thing. There's a product that we carry at Batson Associates. I like the product because, of course, I try everything that we have, with the exception of the products that are actually specifically only for women, or the products that maybe for somebody with diabetes or whatever the case may be, right? What you can do in a case like that is actually proper cleansing and detoxifying again. So you're looking at things like your santulan, your alkagen water. One of the things you also need to pay very close attention to, as I said, there's a product that we carry at Batson and Associates, and I normally recommend that you use it with the L-arginine supplement. If you know about L-arginine is the precursor to nitric oxide. What is nitric oxide? Nitric oxide is a gas, and it is responsible for the vasodilation and the vasoconstriction of blood vessels. So vasodilation means to dilate or to open. Vasoconstrict means to constrict or to close. So nitric oxide primarily controls that entire opening and closing of blood vessels. Your endothelial cells, the lining of those cells, are the ones that are responsible for proper nitric oxide, the metabolizing, want a better expression, as it relates to dealing with nitric oxide. So the point is, once your nitric oxide levels are optimal, and as we age, all of us, men and women, our nitric oxide levels deplete. So there are certain things that you could do from a dietary perspective, from a supplemental perspective, to actually address that situation. But I tell men, all men, if it is you're looking at problems associated with erectile dysfunction, you must address the root cause of the problem, which is to improve circulation in that area. Hence the reason men should not be drinking, 1, cold water. 2, you should not be using any dairy milk at all. If you value your erection, you'll end up in some problems later on. You need to be careful of what you do with alcohol, because too much of alcohol and that part of your anatomy don't function properly at all. This is why we have so many young men who they're in some serious problems, right? You need to also be careful as it relates to your heat, exposure to heat. So if you know you work in factories, or you handle machinery, you may be a machine operator, that type of thing. Be very careful of that particular region as it relates to heat. I'll give you a quick experience. There was this person who came to me, young guy, he was just married in his 20s, early 20s. But they were married, no, they were like, yeah, early 20s, like about mid-20s, 25, 26, somewhere around there. And they were married for like about 5 or 4 years. And they were trying, you know, to have children, and no problem. And there was apparently an issue. The wife checked herself and she was good. So apparently the problem was with him. But he thought that he didn't have a problem simply because he didn't have an erection problem per se. He didn't have any problem in that area. Energy level was good, that type of thing. But for some reason, he had a problem with his sperm count. So he did the test for the sperm count, whatever, and it was woefully under the normal rate. And he was confused because, you know, he eats pretty well. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink. He wasn't overweight. He's not exposed to chemicals, that type of thing. So in questioning the individual, what I realized is that then they told me where they work. And they apparently worked in a factory and they operated a particular machine. So the question I asked them, I said, does this machine give off a large amount of heat? And they was like, Doc, yeah, boy, that thing is really, you know, because they say when they operate the machine, they cannot, you know, they'd have to wait long hours before they could actually go and take a shower because of the amount of heat that is emitted from the machine. But it was interesting to know that the heat was concentrated in one particular area below their waist because of how they were operating the machine. So apparently the way the machine was designed and how they were, the mode of operation, it was concentrating a lot of heat on their prostate. And that was the reason why. So fellas, you know, you need to be careful. A lot of times we work in places, I'm not saying to leave your job, obviously, but sometimes you need to, there are a lot of occupational consequences to a lot of jobs that we do, and we may not be aware of it. You know, sometimes your employer not even aware, because, you know, it was never brought to their attention before. Because, I mean, it's only afterwards that they realized that all the guys working there and operating the machines had the same problem. So then they had to do something. I think they eventually brought in somebody from OSHA, and they had to make a change in terms of wearing a particular garment to not block the heat and that type of thing. So, you know, it was advantageous for all individuals involved. But I was just helping you to understand that that is something that you need to be very careful with. I'll give you a next example very quickly. There's this particular person who came to me at a point in time. He was an old boy. He was like about 45, mid-40s. Relatively healthy. I mean, he didn't have any diabetes, any blood pressure. But for some reason, he had a problem with urinating. And it was a problem that came about some time ago, and it just exacerbated. It got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And in any case, in dealing with them, you know, I was looking for answers in all the places. I was like, there's nothing is explaining to me why this is happening to you. So I eventually told them, I said, here, what to do. I did the blood analysis, and then I did the scan, and I realized that they had a problem with their intestines. So apparently the intestines were shift a bit off. So that brought me even more concern. So I told them, I said, here, well, I'm going to give you a letter, go and do an MRI and bring it back for me. And I wanted an MRI of this particular area. So the chest come down basically to like all prostate, bladder, kidney, that type of thing. So when they brought the ultrasound showed an interesting fact. There was some shifting of the organs in that particular area. The doctor said it wasn't a big thing, but that is one particular doctor. I had a problem with it because when I looked at it, I tell people based on how your body is designed, an inch is a big difference, a quarter inch. Because if you have all your organs lined up here, if you have your nose here, your eye here, your liver here, your kidney here, and one goes off by an inch, it's going to push everybody up by an inch, right? Obviously. And that's going to make a difference because inches in the body does make difference. Yeah, but so the thing is with that, I realized that they had some twisting in the intestines, the kidney was a bit off, that kind of thing. So of course I recommended to yours truly, my chiropractor partner there in Maracas, St. Joseph. And he sorted out the person. But the thing is, he was sorted out, and then some months after the problem came again, and then they came back to me and they went back to the chiropractor. The chiropractor said, so then I said, you know what this is? This is occupational. What do you do? They said, well, I'm a truck driver. I said, okay. I said, but driving a truck shouldn't do this. And then I said, okay, this is the big trucks. So these are the big trucks that they carry sand and gravel in. But you know what this person was doing? Every time they would dismount the truck, they would not come off the truck properly. What they would do? They would jump down. So in jumping out of the truck all the time and landing, and then remember they're using these heavy type of boots. So you know what that was causing? That constant jump was actually shaking up the organs and causing problems. And that's what it was. You know? When they stopped doing that, the problem never came back. So that's just something to show you that a lot of the times your work, the job that you do, you need to be very careful and pay attention to yourself. I'll give you a next example quickly. There was this person who came to me who had bad back and waist problem. They always complaining about the back and the waist. So in doing that now, I said, but this weird. So, you know, I did test on them, whatever thing I gave them. They had some other problems, diabetes, pressure. That went on fine. And this person worked with me for like about 6 months. We worked with the individual. But yet, they would get good, and then after they would come back and complain about the back and the waist pain. So, of course, I sent them to my good friend there in Maracas, St. Joseph, and he did some work on them and that type of thing. But again, in questioning them when the problem came back, I said, no, this has to be a job. And what do you do? And then the person told me that they operate a weed whacker. Well, they have this business that they do landscaping, and they would usually do weed whacking, you know, whacking. But if you ever operated a weed whacker, especially the big ones, where does a weed whacker usually rest? On your waist and your hip, because you have to sort of maneuver it and that kind of thing. You know, that is what was causing the problem. So I told them, I said, listen to me, what you need to do is once you continue doing that job, make sure and you do your regular stretches and whatever the case may be. And I told them, I said, well, at that time, we didn't have COVID. I told them to join the gym and start to do like squats and lunges and those type of exercise that would actually strengthen your core area so that you would actually be able to do certain things. So that's just to help you to understand Trinidad and Tobago that a lot of the times the jobs that we do can actually be detrimental to us. I've had someone who came to me and I told her, I said, you have occupational asthma, you don't have asthma. But whenever you work in that particular environment where you have all this dust and all this type of things, you're going to end up in a situation. I have known of persons who owned pluck shops. There was a client who came to me who had a problem, and the problem was skin oriented, went all over the place. And I said, what do you do? I said, do you interact with birds? So she looked at me and she laughed. She said, interact with birds? Well, we just take care, we own a pluck shop. I say, yeah, so you would interact with chickens on a regular basis, right? She say, yeah, what does that have to do with anything? I said, are you aware that birds carry some of the worst pathogens? So that's what happened. So something went in your lungs and stayed in there and caused some problems, and those fellas now wreaking havoc on you. So you now have a lung problem and you have a skin problem. The same apply with pets. There are some people who, I remember I dealt with this lady that had this child who had a problem. The doctors diagnosed it as lichen planus, which is a skin condition. And when I asked them, I said, let me ask you something. Do you have pets? She said, yes, we have dogs. I said, do the children play with the dogs? She said, yeah, they always play with the dogs. I said, is the dog a house dog or an outside dog? She said, no, a house dog. And that was the answer there. So, you know, there's always an answer to a question where you have to really follow and pay attention to certain things because, you know, nothing happens because of nothing. There always has to be a reason why something is happening. Okay? So those telephone numbers, again, you can give us a call on 222-8261. That's 222-8261. That's the office number. Keep in mind, we have that special running. Shakil, we started that ad?
Yeah, ad started since Friday.
The ad started on Friday, so you could always take a look at that. That's the special that we're running for Christmas. And of course, my information, which I know you guys are waiting with bated breath for as regards to financial health, that ad will be coming out because I know I had to go and take a little shave and mark and look like people before I took those photographs, you know. So that's going to be coming out shortly. So pay very close attention to that. So next question.
All right. Let's see here. Good morning. What is a hiatus hernia?
Okay, so a hiatus hernia is a situation with your, that would be what? Your musculoskeletal system, where you have something known as the esophagus spinsa. So you have your stomach here, and above your stomach, which would be here, you have the esophagus, which would look like this. So it's like a pipe, right? Now the esophagus is supposed to have a door here that closes off. And this is what we call the esophagus spinsa. So it opens like this, it closes like this. People who have hiatus hernia, they have a musculoskeletal problem where they have been strained or damaged in some way that causes the door to open like this. So it doesn't close down properly. So as a result of this happening, acid from the stomach comes up and regurgitates up into the esophagus. So that is what basically is a hiatus hernia. If it is you have people with hiatus hernias, which can be corrected by the same chiropractor in Maracas, St. Joseph. Someone is asking me to give the gentleman's name, but it would be remiss of me to do that because I already sent 1 million people for him. For me to call his name on this program, on the radio, I'm going to further inundate the gentleman's business. So you could always call Batson Associates and get the information. You know, I would have to get permission from him to do that because he's always, like me, he is yeah. The fortunate thing with me is that I have assistants, a lot of assistants that work with me. Image just, yeah. And his job is when you're doing chiropractor, which we call touch therapy, you know, that's a job that takes a lot out of you. It is energy, it is energy draining. So, you know, it's something that we need to pay close attention to. So you could always call Batson Associates and we'll give you the number, right? And you'll get the necessary information. So that is what a hiatus hernia is. It is something that if you do not correct it, you're going to have acid reflux for the rest of your life. Because there are different degrees of acid reflux. You have GERD, which is the acronym, which is G for gastro, E for gastrointestinal reflux disease. So GERD. And that's a very painful, annoying situation. If your situation is not, if your acid reflux is not as a result of a hiatus hernia, then we can help you in that situation. Even though Santulan does work, the Alcogen water works very well. Digestive Balance works very well. Digestive Restore is also a very good product as well to help in that situation. Okay, let me just take a question quickly here. What pathogens causes neuropathy? How can you get rid of it? Maybe in a dog? Okay, okay, well, if you have neuropathy is usually as a result of poor circulation. So it may not only be pathogen based, but if it is, it's a pathogen situation where you have infection, then it means you need to, well, let me correct that, because the question really is, can pathogens cause neuropathy? And they can to some extent, because pathogens that leave the intestines and go to all different other parts of the body can actually be very detrimental in that particular situation. So with a dog, of course, you can have problems. You know, with dogs, if they're supposed to get a regular worm out, I actually give dogs silver to use. I give it to my dog, and I think he behaves better. He looks better. He hardly has any problems with, because you know dogs sometimes they go and eat things they're not supposed to eat because you can't look at them all the time. Because I'll put him in the yard, you know, to do what he needs to do, and then he would come back inside, whatever the case may be. But you know, it's a dog you're dealing with, so it's actually a good thing to do. Your dog and your cats, you can actually give them the silver because it has some very, 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 very immense results as it relates to helping with that situations. Okay, so apparently someone by the name of Amiran Risat is saying something, and I'd like to address these people immediately. And your question is, why are you robbing and lying to 4 poor people? I don't know if it's 2 you want to say. So what I need you to do is, if you're making a statement, you need to quantify your statement. Because you see that, whenever people talk about stealing and lying, where I am concerned, I get very serious about that. So Amiran, quantify your statement for me. You hear what I'm telling you? Because I don't play those kind of games. All right? Good.
All right. So yes, before you quickly, good morning, Dr. Batson. The person was told after doing an ultrasound in 2015 that they have a fibroid, but upon visiting in September and did another several more were shown. The doctor suggested a hysterectomy. The person has known herself to have lots of period pain all her life and has a low blood count and heavy period most months. Person is aged 47 and has 3 children.
Okay, so she has a situation. What was the age, sorry?
47.
And she said she went and she did an abdominal pelvic ultrasound. And she was at a point in time where she had fibroids before, and now the fibroids have increased.
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, the thing is, fibroids usually have a situation. Okay, so women who have fibroids are caused as a result of hormonal imbalance. Okay, what causes hormonal imbalance? Hormonal imbalance is as a result of an endocrine imbalance. So your endocrine system would be a thyroid, parathyroid, pituitary, adrenal, that type of thing, right? What would cause an endocrine problem? Usually endocrine problems, especially as it relates to things like fibroids, polycystic ovaries, ovarian cyst, endometriosis, is a situation where they have had gastrointestinal problems. So you usually find women who like a lot of meat, fibroids like to follow you. If you do a lot of things with your hair, so a lot of dyes, you use a lot of hair products, those type of things, you need to be very careful with that. So I think in your situation, you may have done the ultrasound earlier, and there's something that you're doing that would make the fibroids situation increase. I don't know if it is you had soy in your diet. Soy is something that most people, well, no one should use actually right now, because most of the soy we have is genetically modified, and then soy is a phyto or a plant estrogen. So even men need to be very careful, because that's going to increase your estrogen levels, and as a male, that is not a good thing. You could end up with serious situations there. And it is a situation as well too, where you actually need to pay very, very close attention to the diet. So maybe the meat you were using could have contributed. As I said, I don't know if you're using soy or tofu or anything like that. You need to pay attention to that as well. Hysterectomies are usually recommended by doctors, which is not really the best thing for you. The unfortunate thing is a lot of women wait until the situation is so bad that you're bleeding a lot. And of course, the doctors, rightfully so, are going to try to save your life. And in order to save your life, they're going to have to remove the organ where they would actually have to do a hysterectomy. But that is because your situation has gotten so bad and the bleeding is so profuse that is causing a serious problem in bringing your blood count very, very low. You understand? So that's something that you need to pay very, very close attention to, right? So once you pay attention to those, and we could always rectify that situation. But there are a lot of things that you could actually use for fibroids naturally. One of the things is the castor oil that I was talking about. A woman could actually take the castor oil, heat it, and apply it to the womb area But in that case, you need to actually apply heat to it for an extended period of time. So you could actually get those bottles that they use where you actually rest them. So while you're watching TV, whatever the case, maybe you could take it, you put it there while you're relaxing, that type of thing. It really does help, because I've had a lot of clients. There's a product that we carry at Batson and Associates called Cyst and Fibroid Formula. That product has, well, the new set that will be coming out is actually known as uterine formula now, because a lot of women, we would have given them for general health health situations, and they would automatically say, well, I do have cysts, I do have fibroids, so I don't need the product. So they had isolated it. That name sort of isolated it, to dealing with cysts and fibroid only, when that was not the only purpose of the product. So the new name for that would actually be uterine formula. So when we get the new set of stock, that is what it's going to be. And that is no longer coming in a plastic bottle, it's only in glass bottles now. All right, so that's something you could also get some information on. What I always tell persons, women, especially when you're dealing with fibroids, you need to be very meticulous with your diet, because fibroids are very sensitive to certain types of food. So milk, dairy is one. You don't want any cheese, milk in the diet, at least for the period of time that you're working on that situation. You don't want any coffee there as well. Your meat intake should be very, very minimal, especially red meat. That should be out. Chicken, I would strictly advise not to interfere with at all, unless it's yard fowl that you're using. Use more fish, and increase your, if you can exercise also helps. Minimal, maybe walking, brisk walking, you don't have to do anything elaborate. And that would help in that particular situation. There's also a product we carry at Batson and Associates called Women's Formula. There's also one called Female Balance. Those we have had a long history and serious improvement with persons where that is concerned. Okay? So, next question.
All right, so Doc, someone says here, could you tell me if you feel a sticking pain in your head for 1 second and it stops, what could this be?
If you have a pain in your head, as you said?
Yeah.
For 1 second? Well, you need to be careful. That could be a sign of early signs of ischemic problems. The thing is, if you're getting any discomfort, pain in any part of your body at any point in time, especially intermittent pains and that type of thing, it's something that you should pay attention to. I don't know if you ever did any CT scans of your brain or any MRIs or anything like that, but it could be an early sign of ischemic situation, so you need to pay attention to that. I don't know your history, I don't know if you're a diabetic, I don't know if you have hypertension situations. If you are hypertensive, then you should even pay better attention to it, because it can later on lead to a stroke or some sort of ischemic situation. So that's something very, very important. Facebook family, I see you all sending a lot of questions to me. I'm just giving Sky their opportunity with their one-on-one. When I go, so we have 10 minutes on Sky again, and then when I come onto Facebook live fully, I'm going to try and address a lot of your questions. But I see you have a lot of stuff.
All right, so good morning. I would like to know, how do you go about treating seizures? My daughter was diagnosed with microcephaly as a baby, but only started getting seizures in her early 20s. She is now 25 years old. She's presently being treated with Dilantin tablets, but is still having seizures.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually a good question. You find a lot of persons who were not born having a seizure situation. As they got older, seizures begin. And I have found in my dealing with a lot of patients, in some cases, it could be, again, environmental, occupational, where they smell certain types of things. You find that they need to be very careful with that. I've helped a lot of persons with seizures. I actually have a very good testimony for a young lady that I dealt with, where she didn't even want to have more children because of how bad her seizures was. And we fixed the situation, and she was able to have an additional, I think it was 2 children she wanted. And she never had the problem again. That's actually one of my best testimonies where seizures are concerned. But seizures are usually indication of overactive aspect associated with the central nervous system. So there's always some sort of triggers. So a lot of times we have to identify the trigger. But what I've always found to help is when we improve blood circulation to the brain, because when you improve circulation, when you clean up the circulation to the cerebral hemisphere, we usually have positive effects where those are concerned. Because I know they don't normally recommend things like dilantin, epilim, and those type of things, but you don't want to use that for extended period of time. You need to be very, very careful. And, that's something that we can help with. Optimizer is also a very good product for that. Nerve Restore is also very good. There's a particular type of magnesium that we use because a lot of people do not know you have many different types of magnesium, and the uses of them are quite different in terms of dosage and that type of thing as well. So, but we could help in that situation. We definitely could render some assistance there.
All right, don't forget, my friends, right after the program ends here, it continues on Dr. Batson's Facebook page. All right, so you can get the questions there. You will be heard. All right, we're just running, we're pressed for time. So let's take a quick call here. Good morning to you, caller.
Okay, good morning, Dominic.
Good morning.
Dr. Batson, good morning. It's Susan. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. You sound so extra polished this morning.
Only for you. Only for you.
Okay. How are you doing?
All right. There's so much going on. I spoke to you a few weeks ago about my friend in the States who has particulitis, I think.
Right, and I told you about the olive oil.
Olive oil.
Right.
It's really helping. However, now she went to the doctor and it's diagnosed with early stages of dementia. So the left side of her brain, she's forgetting words and so on.
Whoa, okay.
Now, she still works. She's almost 70. She still drives, and I'm a bit concerned about that.
Right.
And so I'll pass your numbers on to her, but I don't know if she ever called you or.
Okay.
But I'm a bit concerned about her. Early stage of dementia, and also her urine. I don't want to use the S word, but it's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. Okay. All right, but here what to do, because we, as I said, we're now dealing with all these clients. We have the overseas clients, so I put some things in place where that is concerned. So what you can do is give her the 868. Well, in her case, it would be 868-314-9975 number.
Okay.
And she just WhatsApp to that number with a little bit of information, name, email address, that type of thing. And I will address that situation for her.
Okay, beautiful, as always. All righty, have a good one.
You too. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Caller, good morning to you.
Very good morning to you, Benedict.
Yes, sir.
Very good morning to you, Dr. Batson.
Good morning, Mr. Santa Cruz.
How do you do?
I am good, sir. I'm good.
Very beautiful. I have two questions. Question one. What causes the blood to thick in the human body? What causes the blood to thick in the human body? Question number two. Which is the most intricate system in the human body? Which is the most intricate system in the human body? You have a very good weekend and a very good day, alright?
You too, sir. You too, sir. So the most intricate system in the human body. And the next question, what causes blood to get thick?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, you have to remember, the component-wise, your blood is comprised of 30% solid and about 70% plasma. Your plasma is primarily water. So dehydration is one of the major issues that would cause persons to have very thick blood. Those of you who always skinning up your face and I don't like how water this tastes. Yeah, you people, yeah, that'll be one of the reasons that could cause you to have unusually thick blood. There are some people who may have some challenges from a genetic perspective, but as we always say, genetic loading gun lifestyle pull the trigger, where their clotting mechanism may be a little, a little thicker than the normal individual. But I've seen in all of those cases, it was addressed by diet. When we changed up the diet, we found that they had gotten some significant improvement. So poor circulation, blockages in your arteries could cause that problem. Too much consumption of meat. I often tell people, I don't know why people like to eat a lot of meat. I don't know if they know how dangerous it is. But too much meat produces a lot of waste, nitrogenous waste in the body. So it puts a lot of strain on your liver, a lot of strain on your kidneys. You know, if you have a lot of meat in your diet, and it can cause thickening of the blood. What is the other reason, boy? Your green intake, if you're using a lot of greens, it can be beneficial, but it can be dangerous in a situation where there is no balance and where you do not drink sufficient water. So hydration is fundamental to everything. Always remember that. And most of you, 50% of you, are sick today, or you will be sick tomorrow, or you'll be sick next year because you do not drink enough water. All right? And as it relates to the most intricate, well, I mean, would intricate mean important, boy? Not necessarily in this case.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily in this case. I would say the most intricate system in the human body. Your most important is your gastrointestinal. The most intricate is your central nervous. Your central nervous system is very, very, the intricacies of those are because interestingly, a lot of people do not know that your central nervous system actually is what is responsible for you having a bowel movement. You know, your gastrointestinal system, which is, and that's why I tell people there are a lot of cross linkage in organs and organ systems. Someone asked a question here, Yasmin Brito, where she said the gut is considered the second brain. Correct? Yes, it is. Which makes it more important than the brain, because proper gut health or lack thereof is actually responsible for a lot of problems, including cancer. So, you know, you need to be very careful and take good care of your gut. Right? So,
All right. So, Doc, we have a question here. Your opinion on MSM for the eyes, but you can answer that on the Facebook page. You also have here, would you recommend your friend or your
telephone numbers quickly, and you international people, we are now working with you. We're now getting your consultations done. We're getting your products out to you. Short term, so I had to do something for short term, medium, then long term, because that long term was taking too long. Okay, so you could feel free to message us on 1-868-314-9975. So that'll be 1-868-314-9975. And the telephone number again for the office, those of you local, would be 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Our locations, we are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. We are also on the corner of Ramsonwood Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Davie. We also in Red Edge Mall. Red Edge Mall is Western Main Road, St. James. And Tobago is the Triangle building in Scarborough, Tobago. Someone is saying WhatsApp number not working. No, that number is working. 314-9975. It is working. Take what I'm telling you. It is. So as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Remember to join us on Facebook, Batson and Associates Limited. I'm going to continue there for the next hour. Sky 99.5 family, is always a pleasure to be in your company. Dominic, sir, always an excellent pilot.
Yes.
So until next week, God's willing, God bless you, sir, and you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. All right, my friends, definitely tune in to his Facebook Live at this point and continue the conversation.
Yes. So, Facebook family, pleasant good morning to you again, Miss Trisha Pascal. Miss Pascal, why you say the number not working, girl? I don't know. I will check though, but the number working. The number is working. All right. So, let me see if I could take some of your questions. Yeah. So, Shakil has this large screen in front of me, so I'm making sure I'm seeing everything. So I'm seeing all my good mornings from the first set of persons. Miss Mala Bastamante, a pleasant good morning to you, Miss Mala. Right, Dean Gibson, good morning to you. All right, so let me see if I can come down here. Okay, so Mula is asking, I'm living in Germany. I love all your thoughts and the descriptions of the supportive medicines that you have, but unfortunately, there's no way to order your products. Once you mentioned about a colleague in Germany. Is this person a woman practicing and using the same products? If so, can you give me her info? Trinidad is still not receiving or sending mail to Germany. Seriously? Whoa. Okay, okay, so here what I'm going to do for you, Mueller, I'm going to make sure and take a note of this information here, and I'm going to get my my marketing people. So we're going to see how we can work out something. If it is you can get it from the US or something like that. But there's always a way to work out. I mean, that colleague that I have there, I haven't spoken to them for a while. It is actually a male. But I will reach out to them and see, because I know they do some of the things that I do, and they would have access to certain types of products that would do similarly to what I do in your region. But I can't promise that, because I haven't been in touch with them for quite a while. You know, all of us usually very busy, but I'm going to work on that for you. So as I said, if we could do it via maybe Canada or the United States or something like that, then it would be a little better. And that's the thing with COVID. COVID has actually changed significantly the way you're actually able to ship goods and the descriptions, and you know, so it's a little more laborious, it's a little more intricate. So that's something that we will work on. All right. Good morning, Dr. Batson and staff. Can you say the name of the chiropractor? All right. So I said with that you could actually call. Good. I answered the question regarding the pathogens. Okay. All right. So some of those were just regarding that particular individual that I mentioned, which I just didn't understand that, but I ain't going to take up, waste my energy where that's concerned. Miss Ayana Marie, good morning. Always locked on to be educated. Good morning to you, my dear. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, so there was a lot of things regarding that situation. So as I say, I'm skipping that. Okay, so good morning, Dr. Batson. How beneficial is activated charcoal powder? And what do you think about nopal cactus juice? I like both of them. The only thing with the charcoal powder, you need to make sure that it's activated charcoal powder you're getting. And you know the reason for the activated, right? Because toxins have what? Positive polarity. And in order to opposites attract, so you need negative to actually attract the positive. So that's why the charcoal has to be activated. There's also things like bentonite clay, which is activated as well. So it actually has a particular frequency associated with it to actually help in detoxifying the body. So that's actually a very good thing as well. Okay, and the nopal cactus juice is something that I like. It's something that I use for myself. I actually used to bring it in, and I plan to start back bringing it for clients because it is actually a very good product. Okay. Ms. Hadasha is asking, what can you do for a post-nasal drip? Okay, so post-nasal drips are drips where you have this annoying, usually you get post-nasal drips post-cold, post-sinus, those type of things, right? So, what you find in a case like that, I don't know if you are in Trinidad, but definitely the silver with the minerals, that will help you. The alkagen water will also help you as well. The Long's tea, very good product, that could also help you as well. What you can do from the home aspect too, take cold water completely out of your diet. Only use water at room temperature and try and include at least 2 cups of hot tea in your regime on a daily basis. That should help you. Okay? Ms. Verna is saying, blessings unto you and yours, Doc. My nephew has this issue where his body shuts down when he gets excited. He faints right now. He is hospitalized. Tests show no sign of stroke. He is 21 years old. Any advice, please? That has to be some sort of neurological synaptic problem. So maybe the synaptic response is too much. It could also be an indication of pathogens that produce neurotoxins, and neurotoxins are brain toxins. or toxins that affect your neurological function. So those toxins can be very problematic in a number of issues. So maybe that's the situation that he's having. So you need to pay close attention to that. Okay. Yeah. So Ms. Pascal, as I said, I will check out the number for you, but as far as I know, the number is working. So I'm going to check that out for you. Ms. Crystal Ann Edwards is saying good morning. Good morning to you, Ms. Edwards. Constance Shuffler, good morning. Dr. Batson, have a blessed day. Same to you, Ms. Pat Brown, Dr. Batson. What do you recommend for anxiety? Anxiety, boy. I don't know if you're in Trinidad. There's a product we carry called Nerve Restore. Top of the line. Excellent product. I use it a lot. I sleep like a baby. I never had problems sleeping, but I sleep even better. And mentally, because it is an adaptogen, and an adaptogen is any supplement or any chemical that has the ability to reduce stress naturally in the body. So what adaptogens do is they naturally reduce cortisol levels and actually help your body deal with stress. So it helps persons if you are in very stressful jobs. So those of you who work in corporate and you might be director, CEO. I always feel sorry for people like that because I think, I don't know, I mean, usually people like that, you have access to some level of, you have access to some level of money. I don't want to say you have money because I don't know your business, but, and when coming to your health, whether you have money or you don't have money, you need to take care of yourself. But the thing is, a lot of persons who are executives and directors and, you run all these corporations, when you're in those jobs, you know what those jobs call and what it takes from you. There's a reason why you are paid well. You're paid well so that when you get sick and things go wrong with you, you can't complain because you were compensated well, right? So if you want us at Batson and Associates to help you with that, because I, as someone who, runs a business and operates from a senior management level, even from a senior level as a medical consultant, I have a very heavy schedule. And if I wasn't aware of the things that I'm aware of, if I didn't have the knowledge that I have, if I didn't have the know-it-all to take care of myself, I'd have been sick a long time. I'd have been a madman because of the type of schedule that I have. Now, I'm not saying that I work myself to the ground, but I have a lot of work. But I ensure that I take care of myself, and I know to take care of myself so that I don't end up with a nervous breakdown or go mad. And I can come and do a 2-hour program and don't have a book in front of me or anything like that, where my ability to recall information and it's quite good. I mean, I didn't get this overnight. It was over a period of time. But I'm just saying that to say that if you know you are in a very stressful job, you need to take care of yourself. There are things that you can do to balance that and bring your body in a place where you do not end up with a nervous breakdown. You don't go mad, and then you're dead, and the people just send and read for you. You don't want that. Because jobs don't die, No job ever dies, You die. Always keep that in mind. All right? Someone is asking the question. So that was the anxiety situation. I hope I answered the question, Ms. Pat Brown. As I said, I don't know where you're located, but you could always let us know. But if you are in Trinidad, you're looking at using things like your Alkagen water, your Nerve Restore, Optimizer. The liver tea also helps in the case of anxiety because your liver is a serious component to either fuel anxiety or manage anxiety or get rid of anxiety. Okay? Miss Patricia Henry is asking, I live in the Netherlands and I also would like some information in receiving your products. No problem, Miss Henry. Miss Cathy Ann Saunders is saying, Dr. Batson, I was just diagnosed. Oh, God, come in here. Oh, good. We can't in a hurry here. Just now. All right, let's go back to find a question here, right? Oh, someone, Miss Ashton was saying, autism in children. Focus on that. Okay, so here what I'm going to do. Next week, please, God, the program that I do next week, I'm going to tackle things like autism. I'm going to look at attention deficit disorder, OCD, those type of things. Okay? I promise that, Miss Ashton. I'm going to make sure and let Shaki know and put it there so that it could I will be reminded. All right? Right. So I was looking for this question. Ms. Cathy Ann Saunders is saying, Dr. Batson, I was just diagnosed with high blood pressure. What could be the cause? Well, the thing is, a lot of us are a little more stressed than normal because of COVID-19 and all this lockdown and everything. So I don't know if maybe that could have been a contributing factor. In addition to that, I don't know how young you are, but women, hypertension could also be a postmenopausal situation, so you need to be very careful. It doesn't necessarily make you full-blown hypertensive, but you need to maybe look at your diet. You may need to take a cleanse. You may also need to look at your hydration as well. That is also a serious contributing factor to hypertension situation. Okay. Ms. Warren is saying, good morning, Dr. Batson. How does one order to deliver to the US? What you need to do, Ms. Warren, is send us your information on the 1-868-314-9975 number, and then we're going to contact you with address and information, do a consultation for you, and have that organized. Okay? Good morning. Blessings, Dr. Batson. Can I use magnesium foot soap? Most certainly you can, Ms. Diane. Ms. Alicia Cumberbatch. I know you mentioned it before, but I would like you to speak on menopause, rheumatoid arthritis, and hyperthyroidism, please. Okay, so I'm going to address that for you. So let me see if I can do. Okay, so what I'll do, because of the amount of questions I have, I will take one of the two. So I'm going to deal with menopause. So menopause, we know, is when women reach a stage in their life where they it's transition it's a transition in a number of ways. Now the thing is, a lot of women do not know that pre-menopause you should be taking things to prevent you from having a very how to put it, boy, a very negative reaction or a negative transition where menopause is concerned. So you have three types of menopause. You can be pre-menopause, you can actually be menopause, or you can be post-menopause. Mr. Ellis is saying, I love your saying that when you die, they just send a wreath. No match for your words, LOL. Exactly, that's what happens. So we'll do that, okay? Yeah, so with pre-menopause, that would be just before you go through menopause. What should you be looking at? So things like your hot flashes, things like vaginal dryness, all those type of things. Evening primrose was something that was very, it is good, and it is still good. Of course, I'm very brand specific as to what type I would recommend for persons. I'm a big advocate of being proactive as opposed to being reactive. So there's a product we use called Female Balance, and there's also one known as Women's Formula. Very, very good product. We get some good ratings from that, and that's a product that I've been recommending for persons over 10 years now. Very, very good results where that is concerned. So that's something that you will actually pay very, very close attention to. Okay? Someone is asking a question. Hey, Doc, you mentioned something about black castor oil earlier. Can you please repeat? Sorry, I joined a bit late. Okay, so that's Lorna is asking that question. So Lorna, what I was saying about the black castor oil, the black Jamaican castor oil, that is that castor oil is very good for your lymphatic system. It actually helps to drain or encourage circulation and lymphatic drainage, which is very good. Because what you need to do, and just a side note here, there's an ad somebody, well, technically an ad or a big up. Someone said Nerve Restore is Boss, and they put Boss in capital letters. I tell you, if you haven't tried that product yet, try it. Boss product. Right? So in that particular situation, you need to really pay close attention to the lymphatic system, and that's what castor oil does. Castor oil actually helps. It's very so. Women, what you should do: get some of the castor oil. Remember what I told you to do. So you all see my hand here, right? So you're taking this part of your hand, which is here, between where your elbow is, right? And you rub some of the castor oil and leave it there overnight. Now, when you do it like that, you could also do it inside your wrist here. The reason for doing that is so that to know if you're going to be allergic to it or not. And you can apply that, try that with any oil, any cream, anything like that. Good. And with the castor oil, what you're doing, you're heating it a bit and you're actually massaging underneath. Yeah, it's very good for here, especially if you're having problems with your thyroid. It's also very good for under your arms and your breasts. Now, remember, ladies, do not put it on your nipples, please. And then call me and tell me your nipples feeling funny. You are putting it all around. And what it does, it helps with lymphatic drainage. It helps with circulation. All right? Remember that. It's very, very good. Men is also very good for close to your genitals. You could put it very close to your prostate. Put it inside, in between your legs there, all around there. You know, keep everything flowing. keep the boy working good. Coconut oil is actually very good. Now, I'll be careful I saying this and try and say it as clean as possible. In fact, I'm not going to say that. In fact, I'm going to leave that for our next program. But men, coconut oil is actually very good for you. Very good. It's very good to drink. And it is also very good to use on your anatomy. Let me put it like that. It's actually very good. It actually helps with circulation. It is an antibacterial, antiviral. So it's very good. You know, it's good to, I'm going to tell you to grease down your private, but it's actually a very good thing to do that with because it does help significantly. So men, pay close attention to that, right? So let me see here. Zilma is saying good morning, everyone. Miss Anna Haradan is saying good morning, Dr. Batson and viewers. Miss Pat Brown, yes, thanks so very much. I am in New York and I will reach out via WhatsApp. Okay, great. Okay, so let me see if I can get King Morris' question. I know a 5-year-old child who doctors say is autistic spectrum. This child has asthma and has been put on steroids and the equipment that they use at the hospital. Please help. Well, the thing is, there are a number of things other than steroids that you can actually use for people with asthma. Usually, asthma is, how to put it, boy? A lot of times, people who diagnose with asthma is not asthma you have enough. Because there are some persons, you know yourself, you're a child, you grow up, then you reach adult, all of a sudden you have asthma. You don't get asthma just so. Let me tell you what asthma really is, or what asthma and bronchitis and tuberculosis and all these type of lung situations is. When you get infections, you know you can get infections in your lungs, right? Lung. If you get a cold, a common cold, it can cause a lung infection, you know, and if it's not dealt with properly, you can end up with lung infections for an extended period of time. The problem is with infections is that antibiotics a lot of the times do not successfully get rid of infections in their entirety. So as a result of that, you find that you have frequent infection and you have it staying there and it's nagging and it's bothering you and that type of thing. So what you need to do, I would recommend the Silver with the mineral formula. Very, very good product. I will also recommend that you use the inflammation formula is also a very good product as well. The lungs tea is also a very good product. There's also an oil that is very common to a lot of persons. Black seed oil is also a very good thing to use for asthma as well. So you have a lot of options. You have a lot of options because when you use steroids for extended period of time, you have something known as steroid-induced diabetes. You have steroid-induced osteoporosis. So many things that you need to pay very close attention to. All right. Ms. Pamela Moses, Doc, my sister-in-law, who is one of your clients, told me she brought her son by you and he saw, he saw Miss Karishma and he was very impressed. Okay, good. I'm glad for that. And let me say a pleasant good morning to our senior consultants, Ms. Karishma Ramdan, Mr. Paul Green, a pleasant good morning to you. Yeah, these people know their stuff. I mean, they were trained by yours truly, and we always, you know, improve ourselves, and we have so much clients to do it. A pleasant good morning to Mr. Bastamante, who's on his way there. You know, very hard-working gentleman. A pleasant good morning to you, sir. And a pleasant good morning to all the staff at Batson Associates, Miss Roma, Miss Budram, Miss Monix, Miss Robinson, Miss Hills, Mr. Montoot, Miss Eleanor, Miss Marshall, and the next Miss Marshall, and Miss Sunarine, new to the team, hard-working individuals. Also a pleasant good morning to Ananda, Mr. Shakil, always ensuring that we locked on, and you know, Shakil has been an invaluable asset to us. And if you only know how I met Shakil, first time I met Shakil, I wanted to throw him away. But he turned out to be a very good fella. Very, 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 very good. And, you know, not only genuine, hard-working fella, right? As so many of our members of staff at Batson Associates. Have I forgotten anybody, boy? Mr. Hayden. How could I forget Hayden? Hayden is the one responsible for ensuring that our office looks like our office. So all that work that we have done since you guys came in there with the dispensary and the new cash area, and, you know, ensuring, you know, security in place and that type of thing to ensure that we continue to provide excellent service to you guys. So, you know, a pleasant good morning to you guys as well. Mr. Keston is asking a question. Dr. Batson, good morning. What's the reason for 2 different blood glucose readings on different hands simultaneously, right hand and your left hand. All right, that's interesting. So the right hand was 110 and the left hand was 94. That is actually very interesting, you know. And this was a blood glucose reading. So you actually did capillary blood, which is from your fingers, right? Well, the only possible explanation for that could be what, boy? The amount of oxygen in, because deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood would give you maybe a slightly different reading on the blood sugar or blood glucose level. But I'll actually do some research and check that out. That's interesting. I'll check that out. So Shaki will make sure I note that as my homework. How is it that we had someone who did a blood glucose test simultaneously, and the right hand was 110 and the left was 94? I'll remember, Shaki, so I'll just give you it. Okay. So Mr. Ram Logan, Dr. Batson, love listening to me. May God continue to bless you to be a blessing to others. Asked earlier about hair loss. Can psoriasis in the scalp cause hair loss? How can hair loss be rectified? Okay. Yeah, psoriasis can actually cause serious hair issue. The thing with any scalp issue and hair loss, so there's alopecia, which you find women get, which could be as a result. The problem with a lot of y'all is that when you see problems with your hair, you need to address the problems very quickly. Because if you leave it and the follicles are seriously damaged, then it's very difficult to reverse the situation. So one of the things that I often tell persons that they can do is do the hair mask. And that hair mask is the mask with the olive oil and the apple cider vinegar. So you use a ratio of 1 to 1. So you take 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and you add it to 1 tablespoon of olive oil. You mix it together. Depending on the amount of hair you have, you use the same ratio. So if you're using 2 tablespoons, it will be 2 to 2. If you're using 3, it would be 3 to 3. So your ratio is 1 to 1 based on the amount of hair that you have, right? Obvious. Good. And what you do, you make a hair mask with that and you mix it in your hair. You leave it, you put it, rub it all in your scalp, and you use one of those caps. And you leave it in your hair for like about an hour. And then you rinse. But when you're doing your rinse, you don't ever use shampoo to do your rinse entirely. What you do, your ratio for your shampoo is going to be 0.5 to 1. So you're using 1 teaspoon of shampoo to 1 tablespoon of baking soda, and you mix that in about 2 to 3 ounces of water. So you mix it, let it get thick and nice, and you actually wash your hair with that. All right? So I know you're going to ask me for that again, so I'm going to have to put it in something and put it on my on our Facebook page. Okay? So that's something that could help. As it relates to improving hair growth, and there are a number of products that we have for that. We're getting some more things. I told you guys about this thing, royal jelly. That was one of the things I actually used for my hair. Hence the reason, if you look, you realize I have a lot of hair. I mean, I always had thick hair, but I mean, at the age that I am, I didn't expect to have some of the hair on my head because I come from a family that is prone to bald-headedness. You know, my dad got bald at a very age. And he told me that, you say, you feel you're young and nice now, watch it, you know, in a little while you're going to have a bald head. I'm 42 now, and thank God, you know, my hair is growing more than ever. So I attribute that particular hair regime that I did, and that same treatment protocol that I mentioned to you guys, that's one of the protocols that I use. I mean, if you look at my hair, you realize, and this is all mine, very thick. I try for it to look as healthy as possible because, you know, I try to take care of myself as much as I can. Okay, guys. Okay, London is asking, Doc, how soon will you be getting circulation tea? I'm praying and hoping, God's willing, that we have circulation tea in the next week, 2 weeks for the most. Okay? Miss Jessica Clark, good morning to you. Men, please use coconut oil when manually anointing your own. Miss Clark, you like that coconut oil statement? Okay, so Keston is saying, Keston, I dealt with that already, right? Duchess Abigail Williams, good morning, Dr. Batson. I am at 40, soon to be 41. I'm suffering with stress and anxiety. I refuse to take prescribed Revitril. I'm having tingling in my arms and legs, generally feeling very weak. Can I take the Nerve Restore as an option? Should I do a detox? Acid reflux and joint pains are also issues. Okay, Duchess Abigail Williams. So let me address this for you in its entirety. Okay, good. So that was a good bit of thinking on your part. I suggest that you leave that alone. The nerve restore is going to help. What I advise you, so let me give you some quick advice here. If you're not accustomed drinking water, so if you're not accustomed drinking your water, your body weight divided by ounces. So how much ever you weigh, Miss Abigail, divide that by half. So let's say you weigh 160 divided by half. Let's say it's 80. You're supposed to be drinking at least 80 ounces of water for the last 3 months consecutively. If you are now, yes, Miss London, I'll address that for you just now, darling. Miss London is asking me if I dye my hair. No, I do not. I do not. My beard is gray. I don't know why. Because if I grow my entire beard, you'll realize that part is black, part is gray. But I do dye my hair. If you look, you'll see like a little bit of grays in it. I refuse to dye my hair. Refuse. So I do dye my hair. Okay? Yeah, Abigail. So what you're doing for me, Abigail, I suggest you start off with the Alkagen water. If you do not have a blood count situation and you can actually use the water together with the Alkagen, with the Santulan, sorry. So you could use that. You could use the inflammation formula, which you will take 1 tablespoon in the morning and in the night in 8 ounces of water, and you can use the nerve restore. So those 4 things you can use. You could also take some tea. You could use some of the, what tea would work in that situation? The liver tea would help. And you could also use the gastro tea. We actually have a tea for acid reflux. Okay? Miss Lynette Gord is saying Dr. Batson. So a pleasant good morning to you. I hope that was for a good morning and not for a question that I was supposed to answer for you. Dr. Batson, your program is also very informative. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. That is Miss Braffit Garcia. You're welcome, Miss Garcia. Oh, Miss God is saying Mr. Bastamante is the best. Miss God is saying he spent a lot of time explaining stuff to me. Yes, he is very thorough. So I'm glad to hear that. Miss Cheryl Cooper is saying, Dr. Batson, on what hand should you take your blood pressure? Your blood pressure is usually taken on your left hand. Close to your heart, or closer to your heart, because 2/3 of your heart lies to the left of your body. Okay? Ms. Joan Titus is saying, what can I use for muscle spasm that's causing lots of back pain? My doc gave me diclofenac, and I am getting a little relief. Okay, so if you're having muscle spasms, Ms. Titus, what I suggest you do, try and get some of the joint tea. We have some joint tea. That is actually a very good product. If you don't get the joint, try the white or the puer. That's going to work pretty well. You could use some of the Alkagen water. What I suggest you also do, get some Epsom salts, and you could take a tablespoon of Epsom salt, put it in some warm water, and soak your foot. Do a foot soak for like about 30 to 45 minutes. And you do that like about twice for the week. That could help you as well. Okay? Ms. Marsha Joseph is saying, you spoke on the things that cause fibroids. I went to an endocrine doctor who did an x-ray which showed my pituitary gland is large. He said it's the cause of my severe obesity because I have hormone deficiency. He said, however, it's not treated here. What can you do to help my hormones back in order? Because I have fibroids. I have a fibroid 17 centimeter. Whoa. And it's filled the womb space. So I have to do a hysterectomy. What are the things I can use? Whoa, that's a big fibroid. But the thing is, if the pituitary gland is enlarged, there are a number of things that you can do to assist that. I mean, the gastrointestinal, addressing gastrointestinal imbalance is going to help that situation. Because most women who have endocrinology problem or endocrine problems, those problems stem from a poor gut. You know, I don't know if you had problems with, you could always message subsequently. I don't know if you had problems with your bowels, constipation, acid reflux issues, that type of thing. No, I don't want it. I just want to see, oh, sorry, I saw it here. That is something that you could also pay very close attention to. Okay, so that's something that you could actually pay very close attention to and you could deal with that situation. Okay, good. All right. Yeah, gray beard represent wisdom. Yeah, I'll take that. Ms. Michelle is saying, good morning, Dr. Batson. My mother is having plenty of cramping in her hands, burning in her feet. She suffers with diabetes. What can she take or do for this? Okay, well, the thing is, one of the things we would like to do is try and get her diabetes under control naturally. So that's one of the things that she would need to pay attention to. I don't know if she's using, what type of diabetic is she? Is she a type 1 diabetic? Is she a type 2 diabetic? So is she using insulin? If she's using insulin, she's type 1. If she's just using glucophage, metformin, diamicron, then she's a type 2 diabetic. All right. The circulation T would help. The IT would help. Liver T would help. The inflammation formula is also a very good product. That would also help as well. So that's something that we could pay close attention to. What else again, boy? Water. Check her hydration. How much water is she drinking? So the rule for drinking water, as you know it again, is your body weight divided by 2 ounces. Okay? Ms. Avalon London is asking, Dr. Batson, what causes spider veins and what could be done besides injecting out the blood to get rid of it? Spider vein, I am not a fan of injecting or doing any these things, but they strip veins. I'm a big advocate of using things to improve your circulation naturally. So things like your circulation T, that's going to help. The advanced chlorophyll is also going to help. Inflammation formula is also going to help. That helps significantly in that situation. Okay, Miss Michelle is saying type 2 diabetic. Yeah, so we need to get the diabetes under control. So what is her diet looking like? Does she have things like, she should increase her use of things like Karaili, sweet pepper, cucumbers, those type of things. Yes.
Miss Gloria Mori is asking, good morning, doctor. Can I use the eye drops for dry eyes?
Yes, you can. You can definitely use the eye optics formula for eye dries. Dry eyes, sorry, definitely. Miss June Jatan, pleasant good morning to you, my dear. Doc, I am locked on. Have a blessed day. Same to you, Miss Jatan. Yeah. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, that's we need to deal with that that situation. Yeah, boy. All right, so I address this. Okay. Would like to order some products in Dominica. That is Miss Verna is asking that question. What's the procedure, please? Anyone who does not live in Trinidad and want to order products, please send your information to 1-868-386-6. No, sorry, 1-868-314-9975. So 1-868, and then you call my personal number there, 314-9975. Okay, thank you, Doc. Mr. Kyle Thomas is saying, good info, Doc. Thank you, Michelle Ann Ramlogan. I started the castor oil regime. Very good. Congratulations to you. Okay, Miss Angela Superville is saying, can you tell us the difference between compressed coconut oil and homemade coconut oil, please? Compressed, well, the thing with coconut oil, if they use cold press, I think is what you want to ask. The thing is, okay, so there's cold pressed coconut oil. Keep in mind that cold pressed oils are always more expensive because they do not use heat. We know what heat does, right? Heat actually causes problems with enzymes, and heat destroys enzymes. So if they use heat in the preparation of oils, the oils will be good, but they would not have as much nutritional benefit as an oil that is cold pressed. The thing with cold press is that the oils take longer to be extracted and the yield is less. Hence, cold pressed oils are more expensive. That's primarily the reason, and they are usually better. Okay? Would you recommend surgery for endometriosis or hormone treatment? Someone who has endometriosis, I wouldn't recommend hormone therapy for you. You're going to be in more problems with that. If you have endometriosis, you have to deal with that from the root, and that is a deep root. So you're looking at diet, you're looking at lifestyle, because you see, the thing is, what a lot of women don't understand with hysterectomies and embolization and myomectomies is that these things open you up to scar tissue and adhesions. And if you ever do research as to what scar tissue and adhesions looks like, you're going to realize that they can be very problematic. scar tissue and adhesions can cause a lot of problems. So a lot of times women feel they do the surgery and then that's it, you get away. But no, there are a lot of issues that you can have as a result of that. And that is something that you need to pay very, very close attention to. Very, very close attention to. Endometriosis has a lot to do with your diet. It has a lot to do with your gut. It has a lot to do with cleansing over a period of time. It's a process. Your diet is also very important in addressing those situations as well. Okay? Tintin Julian. Good morning, Dr. Batson. When would you be in Tobago? I should be in Tobago, not next week, the week after next week, God's willing. I should be present in Tobago. Okay? Rihanna Francis is asking, I have pain in my shoulders and muscle cramps in my leg. What can I take to relieve my situation, doc? Thanks in advance. Okay, so if you have cramping situation, you can have some problem with magnesium deficiency, but it could also be circulation based. So I would tackle both of them. So I would use things like your Alkagen water, your Santulan. Keep in mind, anyone can use Santulan once you do not have a problem with low blood counts and once you are properly hydrated. And I already gave you the recipe or the advice to know if you are properly hydrated or not. You should be using or should have been using your body weight divided by 2 in ounces, drinking that water for the last at least 1 month, at least. Okay? Ms. Jessica Clark is asking, what can be done about lumps on the leg at pressure points on the vein? Okay, that person needs to address the circulation. It means the circulation is very, very poor and it needs to be addressed. So things like a circulation tea, circulation formula, that type of thing. Okay? Ms. Verna is saying, morning, Dr. Batson. That's so true what you said about the coconut oil. Yeah, cold pressed oils will always be more expensive. Don't think people trying to rob you. The process is an expensive process. Okay? Ms. Sherma King Morris, I walked away from my computer. I'm not sure if you answered the following questions. What was the questions, my dear? Okay, so I'm going to try to see if I find the question that you asked. Someone is asking, there are questions coming in hot and sweaty this morning, man. I mean, normally it's be hot and sweaty, but they're extra hot and sweaty this morning. Okay. All right. So, Ms. King Morris, I don't know what the questions were. So maybe you could enlighten me a bit now, please, so I could help you out. All right. Let me look to see if I answered that question. Let me always say a pleasant good morning to you guys. Just tune in. Have a pleasant day to you all. That is Miss Carol. Same to you, my dear. Oh, right. Dr. Batson, I have been getting a pain in my right pelvic area. Okay, so this is Miss Patrina. I did the ultrasound and it showed a fibroid pushing against my bladder. Can I use the fibroid and cyst formula that you spoke about? Yes, you can. You can use the fibroid and cyst formula. Most certainly you can. All right. No, don't send your no wish data, but have it now. And then call my number there. All right. So for those of you again who are looking at international shipping, international consultation, I know you all have been bearing with us for a while, but you know, we working with all the challenges that everybody else working with. And the supply chain right now all over the world has seriously been disrupted with all these strikes. You all know it have cargo ships backed up in the United States. It can't even get into the ports. That's to tell you how, you know, we're dealing with some situations. But I believe that, you know, it is what it is. We got to do what we got to do, right? Okay. Ms. Michelle is saying, Dr. Batson, thank you for answering my question pertaining to my mom. She also has kidney problems and is passing a lot of protein in her urine. What can she take? Whoa, that's a serious thing here. Ms. Michelle, I don't know if you're in Trinidad. The thing is, she could get the kidney tea, you know. That kidney tea is a very good product. It's a product that I use for the longest while with my clients. They have gotten very good results. I always put together a proper kidney protocol, you know, to help my clients where that is concerned. You're very welcome, Miss Rafid Garcia. Exercise and perimenopause. What kind of exercise would you recommend? I would recommend you do like some brisk walking. The situation, Miss Michelle, she's in New York. Yeah, well, Okay, here what we're gonna do. We're gonna get that information sent to me to the 1-866-314-9975. Now, what I'm gonna have to do with you guys, I'm gonna have to schedule you, all right? So I take some days out and I sit down with my consultants and we do our virtual consultation with you guys, and then we're gonna go from there. All right. So with the perimenopause, the exercise, I would recommend that you do some light weights as well, because those help, especially working like the legs, because working your legs tend to balance your hormones, in terms of it helps with the production of essential hormones in the body. So things like lunges, squats, nothing heavy, just practical, get the blood moving, get the blood circulating, that type of thing. All right. Ms. Marsha Joseph is asking, yes, I do have acid reflux problem, so I consume a lot of things, but I would really love to get my issue eliminated, doctor, especially the fibroid. I am using ginger as you instructed. Okay, this is Ms. Marsha. Okay. Well, the thing is, the cyst and fibroid formula is working on. What you could do, Ms. Marsha Joseph, because I'm not sure if you're here or if you're abroad. All right. If you are abroad, well, then use the 1-868-314-9975 number. Okay? And we'll go from there. Oh, I can't consume a lot of things. I follow you. All right. Miss Ayana Marie, Doc, what do you suggest supplementing with selenium? Is it effective? Yes, I do. I most certainly do. Most certainly that can help. Okay, and can you repeat the number again? Okay, yes, Miss Michelle. So the number is 1-868-314-9975. What I'm going to do, I'm going to ask Shakil to do something for me, or Miss Joseph, you're in Trinidad. Okay. Well, we need to address that, because that fibroid is a big fella. We really need to deal with that. So give me a message that same number for me now. The 314-9975 number. Okay? I'm going to let Shaki, what you're going to do for me, you're going to put up that 1-868-314-9975 and do it as for all international clients. Okay. We're going to do something and put it there for you guys. Okay? So let me give you those office telephone numbers. Keep in mind, we have that special coming where for Christmas, the 2-for-1 special, so you can look out for that. Those telephone numbers again are 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. That's 314-9975. Those locations, we are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. We also on the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in DB. Thank you very much, Ms. Clark, for putting that number there. We also in Red Edge Mall, which is Western Main Road, St. James, and Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. Those telephone numbers again, 222-8261 and 314-9975. Keep in mind, if you are overseas and you want to get consultation, you want to get your products, that number you have to call is going to be 1-868, of course, 314-9975. Okay? Let me see something here before we finish up, because I'm almost close to finishing up. Like I talked extra plenty this morning, I'm feeling extremely hungry right now. Okay, Dr. Batson, thank you for answering. Okay, right, I had that. Okay, guys, so here's what you're going to do. Just give me 5 minutes, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to continue, and we will finish, God's willing, at about 11:05. Okay, guys, so just give me 5 minutes. Let me just address something here.
You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with song of deliverance from my enemies till all my fears have gone. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child. Child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child. Of God. I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child.
Yes, I can see you again.
Nice. All right, Facebook family. So I'm back. Okay, so let me go back to some questions here. Okay, so Miss Josanne Jules is asking, please explain the nerve restore, doctor. Okay, all right. So nerve restore is a product of Batson and Associates that was specifically designed by myself to cater for persons who had serious neurological imbalances. So persons who have problems with sleep, anxiety, depression, and those type of things. Its core ingredient, it has a few things in it. It has alma in it. If you know what alma is Indian gooseberry, is revered in Ayurvedic medicine. It also has thanks. It also has excuse me. It also has a number of other things, including ashwagandha, that helps with the central nervous system. But the thing is, the way we put it together, it actually helps in its form as an adaptogen. And as I said, adaptogens are chemicals that actually helps the body deal with stress. which is very, very important. So as a result of that, Nerve Restore would give great assistance to persons who have problems with things like OCD, if you have problems with autism, people who have issues with anxiety, depression, those type of things. So that's something that you could actually look forward to, a product you could actually use. Joan Titus is saying, love this song. Yeah, me too. That's like one of my favorite. Right? Someone is asking Dr. Batson, what do you know about lion's mane mushroom? Actually, I know a lot about it. It's actually a very good thing. It's used a lot in mushrooms are actually the family that have their main focus in immunotherapy. So you usually find, as it relates to immune and boosting the immune system, mushrooms usually have significant benefits where that is concerned. Right? Someone is asking the question too as well. There was a question I was supposed to address for you. Let me see. Ooh, I get a lot of questions within that short space of time, boy. Let's know, guys. Will fibroid tea and castor oil cause the fibroid to pass over time out, or will it shrink them? Will this treatment affect blood count levels? Okay, Mr. Lyons White is asking that question. The castor oil is going to help from the issue of actually permeating and going into the body to actually help, in that situation. Ms. Rhea Smith is talking about endometriosis. But I know the thing is, endometriosis is a very painful thing, but endo is something that you don't get endometriosis, and your endometriosis don't get bad overnight. That is a chronic problem over a period of time. And some of you women just do yourself some injustice because you love a set of soft drink to drink and you don't drink water. So that's one of the first things you need to start with. You need to start consuming proper amounts of water, having a proper diet. So Ms. White, yes, it would help. I mean, I have dealt with people with some really large fibroids. I mean, I do a lot of work in Tobago, and I mean, I'm not trying to criticize anybody or try to be facetious in any way, but some of the largest fibroids that I've ever dealt with was with women in Tobago. And fibroids is something, you don't want fibroids to reach the point where it gets so bad that you're bleeding profusely, because when you see that is happening, then you start to lose the battle, because you have allowed the problem to get so bad. And I mean, some of you just want some licks, or some only know they have fibroids since Adam had a lad, and was a lad rather, and you all don't pay attention to it, or you wait until it gets so bad. And the thing is, you're not even proactive in terms of your health and taking care of yourself and doing certain things. You just leave it, eat nonsense, and don't expect it to get big. Of course, it's going to get big and ridiculous and cause a lot of problems. That is going to happen. All right? Ms. Marsha Joseph, please set up an office in Arima. Yeah, Ms. Marsha, you'll get an office in Arima soon enough. All right? Ms. Pauline McKenna, pleasant good morning to you, my dear. Someone is asking, good morning, Doc. Did you mention the use of the Jamaican castor oil for indural hernia as well? Yeah, you kind of know. Castor oil is, I think, is very beneficial to any kind of hernia. It does help because it has a pulling aspect associated with it. And that's the next thing. You all need to be very careful. I find a lot of persons getting hernias now. You all need to, especially you men, you need to know how you're lifting up things. Remember, when you're lifting something, what do? You do not bend and lift, you stoop and lift. A lot of people don't lift up things properly, And when you do that, you end up in serious, serious problems. So you need to pay very, very close attention to that. All right, guys? So let me give you those telephone numbers. Again, you can reach us on 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. That is 314-9975. Those locations, we are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. We are also on the corner of Ramsey Woods Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Dede, as well as Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James, and the Triangle building in Scarborough, Tobago. Okay, I always love to be in your company, guys. I always, I do what I love, which is health and try and help people to be healthy. Look out for that coming ad, which you're going to have to do. We're going to have a registration process where we're going to be actually looking at your financial health. So I am the person, you all know me as Dr. Batson, dealing with physical, mental, vital health, that type of thing. But we're going to look at financial health. But of course, I'm going to be pointing you in a different direction because this forum is exactly for what it is. So I don't want to mix up the two. But in the coming days and weeks, Shakila and I are going to be organizing some stuff where we're going to be having a lunch where that is concerned, and we're going to be pointing you guys to that direction. And keep in mind, it is just information. I'm the type of person I like to share information. I believe that we could agree to disagree with a lot of things. But still, we live in the information age, and there's so much good things out there that can help people that you're not aware of. I mean, I always look at the clients that I have and the testimonies that I have, and if I wasn't doing what I was doing, I wouldn't have been able to help people. So with that being said, it's always a pleasure to be in your company. Miss Pamela Moses, same to you, my dear, and all the listeners, Miss Blackman, Miss Jules, Miss Pauline McKenna, and all our listeners, Honey Bay. Always a pleasure to be in your company. May God continue to bless you guys. Be safe, keep your family safe. And until next week, we will have another program. So God bless. Enjoy the rest of the day. Remember, overseas persons, that number you're WhatsApping would be 1-868-314-9975. Okay, next week, please God, I'm going to deal with some more of your questions. And of course, I'm going to be actually looking at dealing with some more issues that you guys may have. Okay? God bless, and you enjoy the rest of your day. All right. Take care.